Welcome to another episode of the Arkansas Football Recruiting Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Will Montclair. Otis, we got so much to get into this week. We've got big-time recruits. We've got coaching news. Let's dive right into it. I know we've got a lot of bullet points today. We're going to start with defensive end. Taking an official visit here, John Morgan III. Have you spoken with him?
Yeah,
What are you hearing?
Pittsburgh Panther. I'm hearing he's down to 4 schools: Arkansas, Missouri. He visited Missouri right before he got to Arkansas. Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Colorado. Those are his 4 finalists. He'll leave today about 5 o'clock or so, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. His flight's about 4:30, I think. It's when he's leaving today. But he's talented player, has 14 and a half sacks in his time at Pittsburgh. Only had 3 this year, but he had 5 last year and 4 the year before. So he's had some good seasons. Like I said, 14 and a half career sacks. He's a rush in, 6'2", 265. I'll tell you a funny sidebar on him. He is actually, the people who track airplanes saw that the airplane was in Baltimore, they thought he was there to see the Maryland defense, Brian Williams,
no.
Maryland defense coordinator. He was there to see this kid. He was there to see. He played at Hyattsville DeMatha Catholic High School, which turns out a lot of prospects in football and basketball. That is a big time high school, but that's who they were there to see.
I'm sure there's a lot of people in Maryland who had a heart attack.
Yeah, well, that's who they were there to see when the train got tracked to Baltimore, whatever night that was, Tuesday night or whatever. But anyway, back to that. No, he's that's who he's down to. He said he's a big time player, wants to play on a big time stage. Arkansas is a place where he could do that. I had a story on him before his visit, and I'll have one after his visit. So I don't have a feel for him. We ought to be honest with you. People ask me, "You think they'll get him?" I don't know. I mean, he was at Missouri. He came straight from there to Arkansas. It's going to jump ahead, but there's a window, January the 4th through the 8th, where, because everybody's talking about this last weekend. Arkansas's only got 1 kid, and here what's happening. This is not the last weekend. The NCAA has allowed a transfer window from January the 4th to the 8th where kids can visit schools. Mm-hmm. So, and that was one of the other topics, and we can transfer right into that. Yeah. He will probably either visit Tennessee or Colorado during that period. He could visit both. He could do that 2-day deal. That's what he did with Missouri and Arkansas. He came here, got here Friday night. He's leaving today. But he may do that with Colorado and Tennessee. But if not, he'll probably take one of those 2. But anyway, going to make a decision after the national championship game. Mm-hmm. So this is not the last weekend. And so with people thinking Arkansas only have 1 kid in, well, no, they get another chance here. They've got a chance coming up. And remember, not everybody in the portal has to sign early. Right. So Jordan Dominic and Matt Landers came in the spring. Committed in the spring, visited, committed in the spring, and look at the season those 2 kids had. You don't have to get a kid in here at midterm. Yeah, they go through spring ball and all that stuff if they're here at midterm, but that's not. You can have success otherwise. I mean, I could point to Dominic and Matt Landers, and there might be others. Those are 2 off the top of my head. But I will say this: one thing that Arkansas has made clear to the Morgan III, mm-hmm. is that their success, he's got one, he's a redshirt senior, so he's got 1 year of eligibility. They have made it clear to him what kids have come here in 1 year. Speaking of Matt Landers, but I also think of Drew Sanders. They pointed out what those 2 kids did in 1 year. Jaden Hazelwood, 1 year here. And that's what they're pointing out to Morgan, that in 1 year you can have more success. I'm going to tell you, I wrote a story this week. I don't know how many saw it, but Hazelwood and Sanders had more statistics in Arkansas in 1 year than he did 2 in Alabama. Yeah. And Hazelwood had 62 catches at OU in 3 years, had 59 here this year. They almost matched career statistics in 1 year. Well, Sanders did his, but Hazelwood even almost matched 3 years of statistics in 1 year at Arkansas. So, yeah, you can come to Arkansas for 1 year and have success. You don't have to be here 2 or 3 years. So that's something that Arkansas has taken notice of, their selling wheel. And and they can point as I said, I'm sure Alabama and Oklahoma fans got mad if any of them, if anyone read. I don't know if anybody over there reads my stuff, but if they're smart, they probably don't. But if they did, I mean, what I wrote was simply facts. I mean, I stuck to the numbers. It was right there in black and white. What I wrote was the truth, and so that's all I'm getting at. Is just that you don't, you can come here and have success, and it's pointed out strictly by the numbers, and that's what I wrote by. So anyway, there
Yeah.
is
Oh,
this.
so I just want to jump in there. There's to flip that idea. There's so much opportunity. You make a great point there. There's so much opportunity here to have success at Arkansas. To bring up the Jalen Catalon thing, there's a lot of rumors about him going to Georgia. What's your take on that? Do you think he would get playing time there? What's your take on him leaving? I think a lot of Arkansas fans would want to hear you talk about that.
Yeah, if he's healthy, yes, he can play. I'm going to tell you about Catalon. Here's the deal with him. He's kind of like Anthony Davis on my Lakers. He's kind of injury prone, but if Jalen is, and I don't mean that bad, I'm just saying that's the numbers. If Jalen's healthy, yes, he can play at Georgia. People seem to think that he can't play at these big time schools, but Jalen Catalon's got all the talent in the world. Yeah, not the biggest safety in the world, but he's one of the best. Yes, he can play at Georgia if he's healthy. And if he can stay healthy, he'll have a heck of a season from him or anybody else. Catalon can play for anybody in the country. Will, I really believe that, and I think he's probably got I believe he's got a girlfriend at Georgia.
Yeah.
I think that's a drawing card. And I wish the kid nothing but the best. He gave Arkansas his best. And sometimes when you've had bad luck with injuries and you've had bad luck with this, Drew had some injuries at Alabama. Sometimes a fresh start will do you wonders. I mean, look at Drew Sanders. He lost his starting spot at Alabama, I believe, because of an injury. And then, fresh start did him well. And I think there's something to that. I think Catalon, I thought he'd probably leave for the NFL, to be honest with you.
I think that's
I
what
didn't
Sam
really
was pushing
think of the
for.
transfer portal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. But I feel like a fresh start for the kid is not bad. If he can stay healthy, yes, he'll have a lot of success at Georgia, and he'll probably move back into the top 10 safeties in the NFL ranking. That's what he was prior to this season. He was ranked in the top 10 safeties. One of the guys at ESPN, either Kuiper or the other guy, one of them had him in the top 10. I don't remember which one it was. It's back in preseason, back in the summer. But yeah, he can play at Georgia. He sure can. If he's healthy there again. But it's just like that's a big if. He's got to stay healthy. He got hurt his first game of his senior year in high school. He got hurt at the Mississippi game last year before last, and then this past season, I guess he got hurt in the Cincinnati game. I wasn't there, but that was the last game he played, so I didn't see that injury, but I saw the others. And it's just unfortunate for him. But if he can stay healthy, there's no doubt in my mind that kid can make a big impact at Georgia.
Yeah, it
Not
needs to
just
stop
play,
diving
make
into
a big
people.
impact. Not just play, but make a big impact.
Yeah. Let's talk about another loss for the Hogs. It looks like we've got a Steven Johnson flipping from a Hog commit to an Auburn commit.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, I mean, he said he was 1,000% committed to Arkansas, and he takes a weekend visit there. I don't know. I get maybe closer to home. Kids are strange, man. They were 1,000% committed in that last weekend. They visit somewhere else. Probably the new coaches got on him. They hired a good defensive coordinator in Ron Roberts, and probably made a good impression on him. And it's closer to home. I think that's part of it. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, to be honest with you. He decommitted. He was on a visit to Auburn, and he decommitted while I was actually driving home today from seeing a recruit. And so I haven't had a chance to talk. Don't know what I will. I mean, the kid made his decision, but yeah, he visited. There's some other. Jaden Ham was at Kansas this weekend. I think Micah Tees was at at A&M. There's some others. Who am I? I'm missing some others. Anyway, there was a few kids visiting. Shamar Easter visited South Carolina. I don't know if Quincy Rhodes went to OU or not to visit. I don't know. There was some visits, so the other kids visiting. Those were the main ones I just named. That I knew about, like Ham to Kansas. Wouldn't be surprised if he flips there. I'm going to tell you though, and he's not on that list, but we haven't had a chance to talk about Coach, the new tight end coach.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that guy. I forgot to put him on the list. If I'm a tight end, and look, man, I love Dow Loggins. And he had NFL experience, and that attracted Luke Hayes and some of those kids to Arkansas. But let me say this: if I'm a tight end, specifically a tight end, there's not a coach. Morgan Turner, I'd rather play for him than anyone in the NFL. I mean, anyone in college. And here's why: the guy has put more tight ends in the NFL than anybody. I mean, he turned them out at Stanford, and I'm just telling you that. To me, it's kind of like I wrote about my numbers for statistics with Hazelwood. I mean, with Landers and Hazelwood, or I'm sorry, Sanders and Hazelwood. It's kind of like I said, it's black and white. It's facts. It's state. This guy has put more tight ends in there. He knows what he's doing. So I mean, yeah, if I'm a tight end, man, I couldn't run. I'd run to Arkansas, not run to get away. And I know Coach Loggins is a great recruiter, a great coach, great person. I love the guy. I've known him since he played here. But for us, just a tight end coach, I'm telling you, Morgan Turner's as good as it gets. He's as good as it gets anywhere.
Logan seemed like a very nice guy every time I talked to him. I've been watching the new guy after I got done talking to you at practice yesterday. Spent some time watching him. It seems like he really knows what he's looking for, and he has already watched a lot of Arkansas games, and he's really saying, let's not X, Y, and Z. This is what I saw this season. So it'll be exciting to see what sort of difference he makes in the bowl game alone.
Yeah. He won't have Trey Knox, but he's got Hudson Henry, Nathan Bax, Tyrus Washington, and Colin Sutherland, some of those kids. So he's got players, and we'll see what they do. But I think in the future you're going to see a lot. And I did notice Friday my specific question about what do you still need out of the portal. Sam did mention a tight end, so that was one of the things he had previously, right? When I'd asked him that question, had not mentioned tight end. So now he did. So but then again, Knox is going to the transfer portal. Jaden Ham may go to Kansas. Who knows what Shamar Easter and Luke Hayes is going to do? But I will say this. I reached out to the 3 tight ends the other day. Coach Richardson of Ashdown got back with me. Luke Hayes got back with me. Jaden did not. And to me, that speaks volumes. It tells me, and I'm not talking about character. I'm not trashing anybody. I'm talking about that tells me that he probably was going to flip, since he didn't get back with me. And I've talked to another recruiting writer today. Same thing. Same 2 reached out to him, got back with him. Jaden Ham did not. And then he goes in Kansas this weekend. So that tells me don't be surprised if Jaden Ham ends up in Kansas. I hope he does. He's a great kid. I went up. John James and I went to Eudora and saw him, and he's a great kid. And I hope he comes to Arkansas. But then again, I want him to do what he wants to do and what he's comfortable doing, and that's what he should do. But like I said, if I'm a tight end and Morgan Turner's recruiting me, I can't run fast enough to get to Arkansas to play for that guy. I mean, there's not a lot of demands for a 5'9" tight end that's 100 years old. But if I was a tight end young guy, I'd be playing for Morgan Turner, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's all exciting stuff. But let's get into the big news of the day. Potential announcement coming out later today. A lot of rumors about a defensive coordinator coming out of Florida. Otis, what are you hearing?
Well, he's going to be here today. Yeah, he's been hired. I had the story yesterday. Yeah, he's supposed to be here today. I was told this morning he'll be here today. I don't know when. I'm sure they'll try to get him here before John Morgan leaves town. Let him meet Morgan because that's a key recruit right there. But yeah, that's a good hire. I thought they were going to go with the Tulane guy, but they went with the guy from UCF. But I have actually. I don't get to watch a lot of college football. I'm going to be honest with you. I watch Arkansas, and I'm at the game. So we're busy. But with that said, the 3 teams that I have watched that they looked at coordinators are Baylor, UCF, and Tulane. And I was impressed with all 3 of those guys at those schools. Roberts went to Auburn. Looks like Travis, he came here, and then the coach at Tulane, I don't know. I guess you're there, but it's just those guys I've seen coach. So that's why I commented on it. Look, I don't care who Sam Pittman hires. I really don't. He can hire who he wants to. Kind of by him like I am recruits. Go where you want to go and hire who you want to go or who you want to hire. But I'm just saying that I don't care who he hires. But I did comment on those 3 because I saw him coach a lot, multiple games. I saw Baylor twice. I saw Tulane 3 times, and once was against UCF, and I saw UCF once. They play on different. Sometimes those schools play on a different day, like a Friday night or a different day than a regular game. So you
Yeah.
get a chance to kind of watch them maybe a little bit more than you would the games that are going on when Arkansas is playing. But yeah, I saw the championship game. Tulane won that. UCF beat them earlier in the season. But yeah, he's a good hire. He's going to bring an aggressive defense to Arkansas. Uh,
Have you heard
Maybe
any
more
rumors
format
about him as
front.
a recruiter? What do you think that's going to look like?
Yeah, he's a very good recruiter. He's an ace recruiter. The guy worked at Auburn. Yeah, he's signed 4 and 5-star kids quite a bit. He can recruit. Both he and the guy at Tulane are very good recruiters. The guy at Baylor probably an average recruiter, but the coaches at Tulane and UCL are very good recruiters. I'm not going to throw out. We always say great. I've got a habit of saying great. They're very good, and they may be great, but no. To answer your question, Travis is a very very good recruiter. He's got the kids, and he's got some connections. He played linebacker at Auburn, so he's played in the SEC. He was co-defensive coordinator there. I want to say in 19, coached the linebackers, maybe 18 and 19, coached the linebackers, was co-defensive coordinator, and then so yeah, it's an impressive hire by Sam. I think he went a little bit more for recruiting on this guy than maybe you normally do on recruiter, which is not unusual. Sam
Yeah.
emphasizes recruiting, recruiting,
Well, it's
recruiting.
really important.
Oh yeah, you got to have the talent. Of course, you got to have the X's and O's too. But I think when you get the staff finished, you got Deke on the defensive line recruiting the heck out of Morgan. And I don't know what's going to happen on the whole staff because you've got this guy coming in. I know he talked about Mike Shear in BY or UNLV have not talked, but I still look for that to happen. But we'll see after the bowl game. But I do know the new coaches linebackers. Of course, Barry was known as a linebacker coach too, and then he coached the safety. So stranger things have happened. So we'll see how that all plays out. But whatever it does, I mean, personally, I'd love to see Michael Shear stay here, but I still think he'll end
Yeah.
up at UNLV. But I'd love to see the guy stay here. Good, very good coach and a great recruiter. I mean, a great recruiter.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to
We'll
see
see
him call
what he
plays
does.
in the Liberty Bowl too.
Yeah, it's
For,
gonna be fun.
it will be fun. You think he's going to bring anything different?
I don't think a whole lot different. I think you might see a wrinkle. I think anytime you play in a bowl game, whether you'll see a new wrinkle or two. I think they would have anyway. Not
Yeah, do
necessarily
something
because it's
different.
Mike. I just think you've got that extra time. Although this is so much different than it's ever been. You're mixing the portal with recruiting, with high school recruiting, the portal, people leaving, people coming, people visiting. Good God, it's crazy right now. I mean, it is for reporters, much less coaches. I'd be probably
Yeah.
throwing my hands up. I've always felt sorry for Dave Van Horn in baseball coaches because you sign kids and then you worry about the Major League Baseball draft. But
Yeah.
I swear football is getting just as bad as baseball, if not worse now. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, Van Horn, them have to deal with the portal too. So I mean, these coaches, I'm gonna tell you, I think Muss aces that portal. He really does. He knows how to use it. Eric Musselman does, and he does a great job. I know that's Kevin's territory, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, Eric does a very good job on that. I think they all do. Van Horn's got great transfers. Pittman's done a great job. I thought he had one of the top transfer classes last year. Sam did. So, they know how to use it here at Arkansas. Yeah, there's good players leave, but they bring in good ones. And I know Sam's got 3 good ones coming. And I know they'd love to add this Morgan kid. I don't think they will this weekend. I'd be surprised, but maybe they'll get him at some point after the national championship game is decided.
Yeah, you got to know how to play the game. One of those pickups for the Razorbacks, Owen Lawson. Was that yesterday's news?
Yeah, it was last night. I wrote it today. He was,
Yeah.
I mean, I put it on Hogbill last night, but yeah, he's a JUCO punter, preferred walk on. He visited yesterday, but at the point last night, I was about ready to give up on writing stories, and he committed, and I just took his tweet and put it on there and tweeted it out. But yeah, I actually have a story up now. But yeah, he committed to Arkansas. He's a preferred walk on. It's not a scholarship. I had people freaking out about him being a scholarship.
Mhm. No.
He's going to compete with Max Fletcher for the job. Reed Bauer competed with Max and Max had a few more punts than Reed. I don't know the exact breakdown. I do know he had more punts than Reed Bauer, but Reed ended up the season punting more at the end. But he hit the transfer portal, so they needed another punter. You always want competition, and this kid can offer it. He can kick, but he averaged 40.5 yards a punt on 67 punts at Coffeyville. He had 24 bury inside the opponent's 20, 8 touchbacks, and 8 fair caught punts. So, yeah, and he averaged 40.5 on 67 punts for the Red Ravens. I haven't been up there in a while. I need to get back up to Coffeyville, but I used to go up there every year. But, yeah, he's a good punter. Like I said, an emergency, he can kick. He was 3 for 3 on PATs. 0 for 1 on field goal, so he was the backup punter. I guess somebody got our backup field goal kicker. I'm sorry, somebody got hurt. And he probably kicked one game. It sounds like, but I like competition in any position. Well, I don't care if it's punter, if it's long snapper, if it's fullback, quarterback. We talked about the quarterback room last week. There's no sense talking about that again. But I mean, I love competition at every spot. So yeah, that's good. And so yeah, it is. Yeah.
What's your summary of Max this year? How do you think Max did? You think there needs to be a little bit of a competition?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I thought Bauer outpunned him. If you just want to know the cold hard truth, I mean, I thought Max he had some good punts. He had some that kind of left you thinking it wasn't very pretty. So, yeah, he's got to get more consistent. But then again, he was a true freshman, so I would think his best football should be ahead of it. And he was a true freshman. And Bauer did the same thing when he was young. He had more inconsistency than he did this year. He still had some, and you're going to have some as a punter. I get that. So much goes into that. But I thought Fletcher, I'm glad to see they bring in another punter to compete against him because I think you need that. And you need that at any position. But, I'd like to see this kid push Max, and they'll both get better if he does. They'll both get better because of it, Will. And so they'll both be better punters. Whoever wins the job wins it. I don't care who it is. But I am proud they brought this kid in, an experienced kid. Played at Kansas City Rockhurst, which is one of the top high schools up there in Kansas City. Very good high school. Kind of like I talked about Highsfield to Matha Catholic in Baltimore, up there in Maryland. Those are great. Those are nationally known high schools, Kansas City Rockhurst and DeMatha Catholic, stuff like that. So they're getting kids from those schools. You're not going to go wrong. Well, they haven't got the kid from Catholic, DeMatha Catholic. Yeah, let's see if Morgan, he may go somewhere else, but maybe I'm trying to jinx him into coming to Arkansas here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. Are there any commits that we might have missed today?
Gosh, I think we probably hit everything. We
even hit.
I didn't put Morgan Turner on the list. I forgot about. Well, I didn't forget about him. I just it seemed. My days are. I mean, I've been so busy. I'm doing team.
Otis, you work so hard, man. It's like every 15 minutes I see an Otis Kirk story pop up. I'm like, when does this guy eat?
Recruiting, team stuff. Then you've got practice, and now we're having press. Thank God we're having press conferences again. But I mean, we're having press conferences to go to. I saw you there. What was that, Friday? Saw you at practice yesterday. I didn't go to practice Friday night, but I went yesterday. We've got a press conference with Sam in the morning. I love those because we get information and have access to Sam that we haven't had much since the Missouri game. Yeah,
Weeks.
And so I love it.
There was so much to break down coming out of that one.
No, I don't think we've missed anything. I think we've hit it all, to be honest with you, Will. I mean, like I said, you got to keep an eye on the kids that are committed, that visited other schools this weekend. But as of this taping, the one that I know about is Stephen Johnson to Auburn. Doesn't mean there won't. And I've speculated it would not surprise me to see Ham go to Kansas. And I've had people ask me about Luke Hayes and Shamar Easter. Oh, man, Shamar was tight with Dow Loggins, but I was impressed with Ashdown kid. I mean, closer to Fayetteville. I don't know, man. I don't know what he's going to do, but I think at the end it may be hard. It may be hard to get him out here, but then again, I mean, anymore with the NIL and stuff, who knows? So I mean, and I guess it says here Somebody just sent me a text, and I don't know who his source on this is. But he said Auburn has flipped players from Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Tennessee just today.
Wow.
So Hugh Freeze must be back having fun again.
Awesome. Well, Otis, it's always great talking to you, man. It should be another week of exciting football news coming out of this one. And thank you to everybody who took the time to watch. But we got to run to some gymnastics now, which I'm really excited about. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And this has been another episode of your Arkansas Football Recruiting Report. See you next week, Otis.
You bet.